Hello everyone, Krishna this side. So in this video, I'll be covering this group balls by sequence problem from the Geeks for Geeks. And yeah, let's start with the problem statement first. What it is given. You are given an array of positive integers where each element in array of I represents the number written on ith ball and a positive integer k. Your task is to determine whether it is possible to rearrange all the balls in a group such that each group contains exactly k balls, whatever the value that we have given. So when we are dividing them into groups, it should contain k balls. The number of numbers in each group are consecutive. Okay, this is the information that we have with us. So if we have this array and k value is given to 2, so we have to split this array in such a way that each group should contain at least it is not at least two elements is something what we have to consider in each groups, and the next condition is they should be consecutive. So numbers are consecutive if and only if the difference between the addition elements is actually equals to 1. Okay, that is the idea that we have to clear with us. Now the further questions that arises here, like whatever the array this array element it is considering, whether the numbers are getting repetitive or not. Okay, that information is not actually with us in the given this one, but yes, the array elements are basically ranging from 0 to 10 to the power of I, so we should consider that any number can be getting repetitive any number of times. Okay, so that should be clear with us. And yes, before proceeding with this much of information, any questions that are coming in our mind, we should get cleared with the recruiters before trying to get into the solution. Okay, so yeah, that is clarity with us. Now we have to divide these arrays in size of 2 and the number should be consecutive. So these ideas are there with us. So the array is actually not in a sorted order, that we can notice in the input itself. The first thing that we can do is basically we will try to sort the array. Okay, because if we do not sort the array, whatever the elements that are there, if we try to pick any random numbers and try to generate the array, it is not basically the best solution that we can get it, right? So the first idea that should come in our mind is basically let us try to sort the array so that the any addition elements that we are having, they will be basically holding the minimum differences. Okay, so yes, sorting is something that hits in our mind. So how we will proceed further, let me connect this one, and let me open the terminal, run the script. We'll see here. Okay, let us suppose we have this array one. Let me change the color of the pair. So we have elements in the array 1 2, then there is a 4, then there is a 3, and let us suppose again there is a 1, again there is a 2 4 3, and k, basically they said that the k is actually equals to 4, so we have to divide them in such a way that we will form 4 size of array. Okay, so the first thing that comes in our mind is, let us suppose if array size is let us suppose here the array size is actually uh, there is another extra element, so the size basically here is actually 9. Okay, so can we create the group in a such a way that each array that we are creating, the group of arrays, basically with the help of these 9 elements, can we create a size of array which is having size of 4 and consider all the elements? So it is not possible, right? So if I even consider this 4 in a group, second 4 in a group, this would still be in another like left out element, and this cannot be placed in any of the group, right? Because the size should be 4. So yes, we have to make sure that the first thing that we have to check is basically if whatever the size that we have, if it is divisible by 4 or not. Okay, so if any reminder that is coming, that means we cannot form the group. Okay, that was the first intuition that we got. Okay, so yes, the first basic condition that we can put is we'll try to divide with this number and we'll try to see if it is possible or not. Okay, now if it is not possible, we'll return false from there itself. Now the next thing is like, yes, of course we have to sort data, otherwise picking the elements from this array is really difficult. So what we will do, basically we will sort these elements. So it is like 1 1 2 2 3 3 4 4. Okay, 9 is something we will ignore for now because we checked that condition for that one. Now this is the array that we have. So if I start with the 1, okay, 1 I can consider in a group, and we will try to check if the count is basically reaching to 4. The moment we see that if count is reaching 4, we will exit out from the loop. So the brute force approach that comes in mind is, let us start from the 0th index. Okay, and the loop should run till the last index. And next what we will do is like we will check if this number next whatever number that is there, if it is actually feasible to fit into this particular group or not. So what should be the value for the next one? It should be 2, but here it is 1. So what we will do, we will skip this one, we will jump to the next one. Okay, 2 is basically what we are looking for and 2 is something we got. So what we will do, we will put into the group. Okay, so just we have to consider that yes, we have picked this one. So while picking, we will make sure that this all the elements that we are picking into this particular group are basically getting marked. Okay, why it is really necessary to mark them? See, if now in the next loop I started with this one because this was the left out element. Okay, from here again 2 is something which I again found it into this one, and this 2 particularly we added it into the previous group. Okay, that was the consideration we had. So yes, we have to make sure that these values are basically visited. We have to make sure that these values already got visited in some of the groups, so we can make them, mark them as visited or something like that. We can use the logic, and we will try to avoid them in the next time whenever we are trying to see. Okay, so now 2 is actually added into this one. Again 2 is something what we got, but next the element that we actually want here is basically 3. So 2 basically we cannot consider, but 3 is here, so we will pick 3 and put it into this group. Okay, again next is 3, so we will skip this one. Again 4 is something what we got, and that is the next element that we are actually looking for. The moment we see that this size is actually equals to 4, we will break from this one. Now for the next element, we will see if it is visited, we will continue from there because that has been already visited. If not, we will start and pick this particular one. Now 1 is basically picked, this 2 is already visited, so we will not bother about it. So visited array is something we have to maintain. Again 2 is something what we got, so we will put it into this one. Next value should be 3, so 3 is already available into the group, so we will put that. 4 is the value that we are looking for, and then 4 is something we got, so we are done with this. Now this is done. We will try to see if any remaining elements that are there into the array that needs to be created into the or put it into the group. So there are no elements left out. Okay, this way also we can do it. So the complexity for this one is like going to be n square. Sorting, for sorting it is going to be big of log n log n, and to mark and visit and check all of them, it is going to be n square. Okay, this way also we can solve it. The problem is let us suppose like this will going to solve our problem. Okay, let us suppose if here the value is if 5, we cannot put it next to the 3. Okay, so that will be left out, and the moment we out of this loop, we notice that we couldn't make this array size equals to 4, so there also we can return false. So these are different conditions that we can keep on putting into this one with this particular approach. But the if the recruiter asks like can we improve this further, right? If that is the question that he is having. Okay, so yes, of course we can try to improve this particular question, right? So whatever the values that we have, they basically getting repeated. Okay, if the numbers are basically getting repeated, and of course the data should be in sorted order to make sure to get them, we can, what we can do, we basically can create a tree map or a hash map where we can put their frequencies. Okay, and once we got their frequencies, we can basically again traverse through this array and keep on checking whichever the element that we are getting. We have to make sure that in a hash map the next element should be available to form this group. Okay, the idea is pretty much clear for us. Let us suppose we use hash map here. For hash map, the array should be sorted order. Okay, for the tree map internally it will sort the data, but for now we will use hash map. Okay, so the first thing is like we will sort the array, so it is going to be big of n log n. Now we will try to get their frequencies. So the first thing, first element that we got in the array is basically 1. The frequency is basically 1 for now. Next element is basically 1, so its frequency got increased in the hash map. The next element that we got is 2, so 2's frequency is 1. 2 is something again we got, so its frequency got increased. 3 is the next element, its frequency is basically 2. 4 is the next element that we got, its frequency got increased. Now the moment we got collected all their frequencies, next task is basically we again traverse from the array from the 0th index. We check that if this array element is actually available into the hash map or not. If it is not available, that means we might have already reduced its frequency and we have utilized it in some of the groups. Okay, that way we get the confirmation that whether it is been used or not. Okay, so if the frequency is actually greater than 0, so yes, we have to put it into the some of the groups. Okay, so we start from the 0th index. The first element is actually 1, so we picked it. The next element that we actually are looking for is like basically 2. Okay, so in hash map we will check that whether this 2 is actually available or not. So yes, 2 is actually available. its frequency is basically 2. So what we will do, we will pick that and we will put it into this one, and we will reduce its frequency by 1. Okay, now after 2, the next element should be 3, correct? That is the next element that we are looking for, because if we want a consecutive elements, the number should be in this way, such that whatever the numbers addition, that numbers that we have, its difference should be 1. Okay, so yes, the k value is basically 4 for us now, right? So two elements we picked, and another two elements is something we have to pick to create this group. Next value that we are looking for is 3. So we will check if the hash map contains 3. Yes, it is containing. So we will reduce its frequency by 1 and we will put it, because see, we don't want to reuse these 3 again and again. So whatever the elements that we picked, its frequency should get reduced. Okay, that way, this whatever the value that we are trying to see, we are getting it in vivo of constant time. Okay, so in constant time from the hash map, we are actually retrieving their value. If that element is not present, definitely we should return false, because if the element is not present, we cannot create the group of size 4 and the elements are basically in a consecutive order. So definitely there also we have to return false. Next will be 5, 4, and 4 is also available, so its frequency got reduced. Okay, once frequency also got reduced the moment we picked it. Okay, in the start only. So this way we are actually getting their frequencies. Now for this particular first group is been done from the starting index. Now second, for the next element, if it is actually frequency is available, we simply reduce it and pick it for the next one. Then two already, so next is like okay, we are not going in this direction. Okay, we are just checking whatever the next element that is there, if it is available in the hash map or not. So one is actually available. Now we have to again run a for loop, another inside for loop, start from j equals to 0 till j equals to k. Okay, in this one we will try to keep on getting the next element. Okay, whatever the current element value that we have, it was 1 plus this j's value, j plus 1. Okay, it should be starting from 1 till k. Okay, so j plus 1's value, whatever the value that we are getting, we will keep on checking whether it is available in hash map or not, and that way we will keep on getting the elements and keep on forming the array. Okay, let me write down the code first, and then again we will discuss about the logic. And yes, there are actually problems similar to this particular question in the LeetCode. Those are like this hand off streets. The problem is like 846, and again this is again the same problem that we have. So yes, it is actually a good problem, and it has been covered it in multiple platforms. So yes, you can try it out them after solving this one. Okay, so here I will be using HashMap, so you can try it out with the tree map as well. So the first thing that we need to do is like, let us sort the data, this array. Before sorting the first thing is like, let us get this length, dot length, and what we will do is we will check that whether this, whatever the n value that we have, if we do with the module of the game, if we are getting any reminder. Okay, if it is not equals to 0, that means we cannot form groups of arrays. Okay, we will return false. That is the first thing. Now we have sorted the data, we'll collect them into the hash map. We can first collect, and then also we can sort the data, but yes, doesn't matter when we are sorting it. Okay, let us create a hash map. Now in the hash map, let's fill out all their frequencies. Int I equals 0, I less than basically n, I plus plus. So in the map, let us put this data map dot put array of I, and let's get its frequency if already available. Get our default of this array element. If not, 0 is the frequency and 1 is something what we will keep on adding it. Okay, this way we have created the frequency of these values. Now we have, once we are done with the frequency collection of the frequency, we will go through the this loop again. Start from the 0th index, will go till n and I plus plus. The next thing is like, we will check if app dot get whatever this element is there, array of I, if its frequency is actually greater than 0, or let us suppose less than or equals to 0, we will continue from here. Okay, we will continue from here if its frequency is actually equals to 0 or less than 0. It should be 0 only, but yes, for just making confirmation, I am just doing this one. Now this is done, we check that whether its frequency is 0 or not. If not, then that is going to be the current element in current equals to array of I. Okay, and we will reduce its frequency map dot put. Okay, array of I. Okay, and map dot get array of I. Okay, whatever the value is there, we will reduce its frequency by 1. Now the next thing is like we got the current. We have to get next elements for this one, so we will run a loop for it. J equals to 0, j less than array of sorry, it should be less than k, j plus plus. Okay, instead of doing this, what we will do is we will do it right over here in this one. This current is something what we will get. We will update its frequency at the end. Okay, whatever the element that we have picked. So what I have said is like let's put it outside. We first reduce its frequency and we are now looking for the next one. So it should be array of I plus j, and j should be starting from the 1. Okay, these are the things that we have done. Let me remove this particular statement for now. Okay, we got the next value that we are looking for to put it into this one. Now the first thing that we will check is if map dot get this current, whatever the current value that we have, because I have added one. The next additional element should be array of I plus 1. Okay, map dot get or default. Sometimes what happens is any value that we are looking for, it might not be even available into the hash map. Okay, so yes, we have to make sure that whatever the value that we are trying to see, map dot get or default current comma 0. If it is equals to 0, we will return false simply. Okay, or else in the else condition, if the element is available, we simply what we will do, we will reduce its frequency. Okay, so this is something what I'll get, and the current is the element that we actually want to reduce its frequency, and we are done. So now we are actually starting from the first index, but what we can do is we can start from the 0th index, and this is the value that I actually want to reduce from here. This way also we can just avoid unnecessary if conditions. Okay, so now this will keep on doing it. The moment this for loop is done, one group has been created that will be confirmed. Now we will see for the next element whether it's frequency, whatever the next element is there, if it has been already considered in a group or not. If not, we will pick that as a current element and we will try to create its group. And we keep on checking the next elements, whatever the next element that can be possibly we can get it, and we will try to generate them. Okay, so yes, if the element is available, we will keep on reducing its frequency. Whatever the frequency that we got from previously, we will reduce it by 1. Okay, this way we can write the code, and at the end, if everything runs smoothly, we will return true from here. Okay, let's try to run the code. Okay, there is an error, line number 23. What it is says map dot get or de AULT, correct? And is there anything else? No, I guess. Let us try to run this code now. Okay, so true is what we are expecting, and it is working fine. So initially, I just when I tried first time submission, I did not notice that these values may be getting repeated, and quickly write down the solution. So yes, okay, there was condition where we are entering into this particular is getting false and we are returning true. Okay, this is getting false. What is this test case? Let us take this one. Actually, the input is pretty much big and it is returning false. We are getting true as the answer. Okay, where we went wrong. That is something what we'll try to figure out. Okay, let us just try to avoid that one. We checked if n modulo k is actually equals to 0 or not. If it is equals to 0, we are okay. We can at least generate, we can try to generate if it is possible or not. Now we sorted the array, we get them and we put it into the hash map. The next thing that we have done is like we started from the 0th index, we went to the end of it and we checked if its frequency is whatever the frequency that we have created, if less than or equals to 0. If not, we will take it as a current element. Okay, we start from the 0 till we will go till k, and j value keep on incrementing. For the 0th, we check that if the data is actually available or not into the map. If it is actually available, we will reduce its frequency, and current again for the next time, current will get updated j as per the j's value. We will keep on doing the same operation until the we will reach to the end of this. The moment we are reaching, we are done, we will get out of this and we will return true. Okay, why it is saying wrong? Let me take a pause and think about it. I'll be back. Okay, where is this? It was Okay, I noticed the issue. So while updating this map.put, what I have done is like I actually tried updating this array of fire, whatever the size of it, but we are actually putting this currents value, whatever we are dealing with, and we are updating it, right? So yes, that was the mistake here. And yes, apart from that, I don't think anything is there. So let us try to run this code. And yes, this happens basically sometimes, but we have to be very sharp while writing the code, and it will take some time. So for me right now, it actually took some time to debug this one line by line, each value. When I checked, then only I noticed that okay, that is the mistake that I have done right over here. So yes, this way we can write down this code, and think we can uh, use tree map as well to just avoid this inner loops and all kind of thing. But yeah, I think it is fine. Okay, I'm not saying about this inner loop we cannot avoid, but this outer loop, whatever we are doing right over here with the help of this hash map, because in each index we are keep on checking, and then if it is already been picked, we will continue and all. This duplication of this particular thing, whatever we will be running it till end, that will not be happen with the help of tree map. So we can use the built-in function in the tree map and get all the keys that we have defined in that one, and we can run the loop with that one. Okay. So yes, that is all about this particular video. Thank you for watching this one. Bye bye.